Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. My name is Pete and today we complete another long, very story-driven episode of our Mass Effect 2 Insanity walkthrough. The last episode is already a few weeks old because I took a short vacation break, and in that last episode we completed the Abandoned Mine assignment and also had a closer look at the Cerberus Weapon and Armor DLC. Now, in between episodes, I have already removed the Cerberus Assault Armor from Shepard again, simply because I feel like it looks pretty clunky, and also because today's episode will feature a lot of lengthy conversations during which I don't want Shepard's face to be hidden behind a helmet. And speaking of today's episode, the video title already gave it away. We will be completing another loyalty mission, this time for the Asari Justicar Samara. For now, we don't know anything apart from the fact that she wants to speak to us, so let's head down to the crew deck and find out what she wants.
I am glad you came. I must ask for your help. That is not easy for me.
And we will start things off by being calm and sympathetic here. After all, we know all too well what happens if she's pushed in the wrong direction.
It's alright. Just tell me what you need.
When we met on Ilium, I told you about a very dangerous person I was pursuing. Using the information you obtained, I have located her. She's been going by the name Morinth. I would like to apprehend her before she disappears again.
Now, originally, this was a task that Samara wanted to postpone until after our mission was over, so let's find out why things have changed, where we might find that Ardat-Yakshi, and of course, who she actually is.
Didn't you say you'd pick up her trail after our mission?
I know where she is, right now. In a month, she may be gone. This is the best opportunity I've ever had.
Where is she?
Omega, a nightclub called Afterlife, which seems a perfect place for her to hunt.
How important is this?
Killing her has been my focus for 400 years. It is the most important thing in my life, and the reason I became a Justicar.
Tell me about her.
She is an Ardat-Yakshi. It is a term from a dead Asari dialect. It means demon of the night winds, but that is mythology. She is simply a very dangerous woman who kills without mercy.
Now, I will admit this sounds like a fitting description of Samara herself, and let's actually point that out, because doing so will give us 2 renegade points and there are no paragon points available here.
You're dangerous too.
As are you. But she is different. Morinth suffers a rare genetic disorder. When she mates with you, there is no gentle melding of nervous systems. She overpowers yours, burns it out, hemorrhages your brain. You end up a mindless shell, and soon after, you are dead.
Once again, we can ask a number of questions and learn more about the Ardat-Yakshi, their condition, and the fact that their existence is somewhat unknown throughout the galaxy.
So you hunt down these Asari just because they're born with a genetic condition?
It manifests with maturity. When one is diagnosed, she is offered the chance to live in seclusion and comfort. If she refuses, it shows her addiction to the ecstasy she gets from killing her mates. There is no redemption for such a person.
They have to choose between prison and death?
It is an addictive condition. Remember how adaptive we are. If Morinth does not want to be cured, she won't be.
Why isn't this ever mentioned in Asari literature or art?
When we were primitive, there was much fascination with Ardat-Yakshi. Some cultures worshipped them as gods of destruction. Now the Asari have a place in the galaxy, and they don't wish this defect to be widely known. As far as I know, only 3 exist today. 2 chose a life of seclusion. The 3rd ran.
Morinth.
She ran, and I am sworn to kill her.
I don't know that I blame her for running.
When she fled, she proved her addiction. She was not taking a great moral stand. She simply wants to keep killing. She is a tragic figure, but not a sympathetic one.
Can't she abstain?
Each encounter gives her strength. The effect is narcotic. The more she does it, the more she needs to do it. She will never stop. She can't.
At this point, we are facing another morality choice, although once again only one option here does actually give points, so let's go with the one at the top for 2 paragon points.
This is definitely worthy of your full attention.
She confuses her victims, twists their feelings. They will do anything for her favor.
And here we have another morality choice, and this time Paragon and Renegade points are available, but as usual we're going Paragon and promise to help.
We need to stop her.
Thank you, Commander. There are no words to express what this means to me. There is one thing more. This creature, this monster. She is my daughter.
Well, this certainly complicates things a little, and at this point it might be wise to ask if Samara has any other children. After all, she mentioned the condition to be genetic.
You said this is genetic. How many children do you have?
3. And 3 Ardat-Yakshi are in existence today. It is as it sounds. Morinth was always the wild one. She was happy and free, but selfish.
Alright, now we're going with another Paragon option here, although I feel like it is pretty obvious that Samara does not really need extensive comforting right now, and picking this option will therefore also result in a bit of an awkward moment.
I cannot imagine what this is like for you.
I do not want pity, Shepard. I do not accept it. My daughter's condition is my fault, and my redemption lies in killing her. Do not pity me. Simply understand my situation.
Now at this point we have already obtained the quest and could go to Omega, but we can also learn even more about how all of this happened, and this is a completionist playthrough after all, so let's do exactly that.
How did all this happen?
I spent my youth on the move, adventuring. I killed people, mated with them, or just danced the night away. I learned so much, experienced so much, and then my matron days came. I could finally sit back, bask and enjoy my family. But in one moment, it was all taken away.
And again, we want to show our sympathies for Samara's situation here, also because the other 2 choices would either result in the conversation ending or in Shepard being an ass for no reason.
It sounds terrible.
I sat in a med lab while a nearsighted doctor droned at me, and I learned that nothing was as I thought it would be. I gave up all that I possessed. I own nothing. Claim nothing. All my knowledge will die with me. Now my purpose is to destroy my own children.
Same deal here, we want to learn as much as we can, and Samara is in a rough situation, so let's simply express our empathy.
Those moments change you.
And I've hundreds of years left to live with that. I say too much. Forgive me. Help me find my long-lost daughter. And kill her.
And once again, we have already acquired the mission anyway, so we might as well show ourselves to be determined to get this over with right away.
We'll go find Morinth.
Alright, there we are. Our task is clear. We need to travel to Omega again, and that actually fits quite nicely because apart from this mission, there are still a few other things to do there as well.
Commander, Morden requests to see you.
So, heading into the galaxy map, we can now leave the Fortis system and the Miner's Wasteland and make our way over to Omega. Our squad for this mission will, of course, include Samara, and then we also want to have one of either Miranda and Jacob for another small mission, and let's take Jacob as he comes with a few more interesting lines of dialogue. We will not spend any squad points on Shepard as we're still waiting to max out disruptor ammo, and Samara also won't receive any upgrades until we have unlocked Reef, which we will have after this mission. Jacob meanwhile gets an upgrade to his barrier ability, leaving him with only one more point to spend. Weapon-wise, we then won't change anything. For this mission, our loadout does not matter at all.
The daily death count on Omega is too high for me to pinpoint an Ardat-Yakshi's location. However, given the reputation of Ardat-Yakshi among the Asari, Aria may have tracked her movements.
Thank you.
Now, Edie told us to visit Aria in the Afterlife Club, but before we do, we can actually talk to someone else first.
Jacob, over here.
You told me about Jacob, didn't you?
Jacob Taylor? I certainly didn't expect to see you again. I'm sure you didn't.
No, please. So many years have passed since Tortuga. Lots of water under the bridge.
Okay, seems like Jacob and the Solarian know each other, and a very similar dialogue would have played with Miranda in the squad, so let's find out a bit more.
I take it you've met each other before.
Oh yes. We worked an important job a few years ago. A few very long years ago.
You sent me into a nest of Turian thugs in a Batarian ambush.
Hey now. My job was to get you inside. Anything more would have cost you extra.
It also appears as if their partnership a few years ago did not exactly go as planned, so we should probably be hesitant to trust the guy.
Is this going to be a problem?
If we don't walk away, I promise he'll give you a reason to shoot him.
Now, of course, we will hear him out anyway, and to be honest, that last line from Jacob may have actually made things a bit more intriguing.
Well, now you have me interested.
Ish. If you make one wrong move.
Of course. I learned my lesson last time. Trust me. I need skilled, trustworthy people to take care of a little business for me. Nothing illegal, of course. But it's paying work.
And, of course, it also seems highly suspicious that he feels the need to explicitly state that he's not doing anything illegal.
Not illegal? I doubt it.
Well, it's certainly legal on Omega. I can't be expected to know the laws of every settlement in the galaxy, can I?
Now, we also have no idea what kind of business he needs taken care of, so maybe we should find that out first before agreeing to help.
What kind of business do you do?
Important business. So important that, with your help, we can change Omega.
That does indeed sound terribly important, although being acquainted with the self-proclaimed Queen of Omega and Aria, one might find it hard to imagine that a simple job for the Solarian would be able to radically change the place.
What do you mean we can change Omega?
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but certain people here have business deals with people throughout the galaxy. If we were to have information involving those deals, we could make some ripples around here. That's all I'll say.
Alright, then it looks like we won't get much more information out of him, so let's at least ask what we need to do for this job.
I'm listening.
I'm in the information business, specifically the buying and selling of privileged material. It's nothing illicit. I just need someone to pick up packages in certain locations and bring them to me here.
What's your angle?
No angle. I'm a simple businessman. What do you say?
Okay, I think it's safe to say that he did not make the most trustworthy appearance, but we'll take the job for the sake of completion, and who knows, maybe we can even put our own spin on it.
I can do that.
My contacts use specific drop points. I need you to look outside Merib's shop on the Citadel and inside Eternity on Ilium. Look around for anything that might hold a data package and bring those packages to me. Good to see you alive, Jacob.
And that's it, we have now started the packages for Ish assignment, for which we have to visit at least one of the two locations the Solarian just mentioned, but for now we want to head into Afterlife and find out if Aria knows more about Samara's daughter.
Just one more. One night with Aria. That's all it'll take.
What do you need?
And we'll cut right to the chase. As we all know, Aria is a busy woman and probably appreciates if we're being upfront with her.
An Asari fugitive is hiding out here. She's an Ardat-Yakshi. We need to find her.
I knew it. Nothing leaves a body quite so empty as an Ardat-Yakshi does.
You haven't taken steps to kill her?
Why would I? She hasn't tried to seduce me. Her last victim was a young girl. Pretty thing. Lived in the tenements near here. That's where I'd start looking.
And with that we have our location, so let's leave again and not take up any more of her time.
Thanks for the help.
Good luck finding her. Better luck catching her.
Now, the apartment Aria mentioned is close to the entry to what was formerly the quarantine zone, and there are two ways to get there. One would have us go back the way we came, down into the markets. The other one leads us through the more shady parts of Afterlife, but eventually brings us to the markets as well. Looking at it now while I'm adding commentary, I actually think this is the slightly longer path, but then again, we're not in a hurry.
Bastard deserved what he got.
A human colony on the horizon has been attacked. Another in a series of human
Once we have made it to the market, we can then also enjoy a short piece of unique dialogue from Samara, although it is unfortunately a bit hard to hear over the station newscast running in the background.
People come to places such as this seeking a better life. And when they get here, they find this. Vibrant people forced into destitution on a world filled with criminals. They deserve protection. If I survive your mission, I may return here.
Now, the Omega Market is also the place where we will now buy 3 more items that have become available as a result of completing the mission on Horizon. The first one being the stabilization gauntlets here, which boost weapon damage and will probably also be a part of our final suit of armor. But for now, we can simply keep buying. Up next, we have the slightly cheaper strength boost pads, increasing melee damage by 25% and running at a manageable cost of just over 3,000 credits. Once we have those 2 armor pieces, we can then head over to Herod's Emporium, who is offering the third and final piece we want to grab, namely the Ordnance Packs, a cheap leg armor piece that increases heavy weapon ammo capacity. And that's all. With that, we have completely emptied out all of Omega's merchants, so let us now take a closer look at that apartment Aria mentioned. Inside, we find a woman named Diana, and let's talk to her and find out what she knows.
Are you here about my daughter? My nephew died a week ago and no one seems to care. The medics said it was a brain hemorrhage, but that's not true. It was murder. Someone killed my nephew, my baby.
So, Diana is the mother of the recently killed girl, and since we know that her daughter was the victim of an Ardat-Yakshi, and since we also want to grab ourselves 2 Paragon points here, let's go with the option at the top.
I think she was murdered too, and I'm looking for her killer.
Oh, thank you. It's so hard when no one believes you. I'm all alone now. Are you one of Aria's people?
Well, I would not call Shepard one of Aria's people, but describing who he actually is would probably take up too much time, so let's simply reassure her that we're here to help and obtain 2 more Paragon points.
I'm here to help. Does it matter who sent me?
No one else on this hellhole station gives a damn that my nephew is dead. If you can do something about it, I'll help you however I can.
So, we can now ask a few questions and learn a bit more about Neff, her friends and the places she liked to visit, hopefully enough to get us closer to Samara's daughter.
What kind of a girl was your daughter?
My nephew had a fire inside her. She was shy, but she was creative and driven and the best girl a mother could hope for. She was creative? How so? She was a sculptor. Several galleries were interested in her. Said her work was fresh.
Did your daughter have a lot of friends?
Not a lot, no. She was shy. Spent most of her time off making her sculptures, not hanging out with friends. Something did change in the last few weeks, though. She started talking about an Asari. Morinth. I see. I didn't like her. She kept dragging Neff out to clubs, and I'm pretty sure she gave my daughter drugs.
What kind of a person was this Morinth?
I never met her. But Neff talked about her like she was a queen. You'd swear there was no one else alive when she talked about Morinth. That sounds familiar.
Samara, does Morinth control her victims with drugs?
She controls them through sheer will. The drugs are just a lifestyle. She loves the club, loves the base. She's a hedonist. So this Morinth did hurt my daughter? Is she the one that... I will bring justice to the one that did this.
And even though it's still a bit unclear whether or not we can in fact solve this case, we will show ourselves confident here, although we won't get any morality points for it.
We swear to you. Neff will rest easy soon.
I hope so. I hope so. My baby.
And finally then, we can ask about the places Neff liked to visit. Maybe that can help us pinpoint Morinth's whereabouts.
Did Neff hang out anywhere in particular?
She was always quiet working here at home. Then, a few weeks ago, she started going out all the time to the VIP area of that club down the street. I think you need a password or something to get in there. The change was so sudden. She just seemed tired and distracted when she wasn't around Morinth.
Okay, so Diana just casually mentioned that we need a password to get into that VIP section, and at this point it seems like a good idea to have a look around the apartment in search of more clues.
You mind if I examine Neff's room?
I didn't want to disturb anything. Her clothes, her art, her sculptures, everything is the way she left it. The way it will always be. My baby is gone. She's gone. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just miss her so much.
It's okay. We've all suffered loss.
I know what it means to lose a daughter. I will avenge her. Thank you. Please, if it helps you find her killer, look through her things. We will be respectful.
I'll examine her things.
Alright, the Paragon interruption just gave us 5 more Paragon points, and we can now examine the statue and the note over here.
Neff made that. A man from some gallery offered me 4 years' salary for it, but I'd never part with it.
Neff, I'm sending you this hologram by the Elcor artist Forta. His work is sublime, but don't stare at it too long or you may go mad. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, love. I can't wait to hear what you think of Forta.
Now, that note was actually sent by Morinth herself, but the real important info can be found in Neff's diary here, which we will go through chronologically, starting with the oldest entry.
Read the oldest entry.
Hey, diary. Cycle 34, orbit 671. There's a lot to talk about. I dropped your root's name, and they let me into the VIP room at Afterlife. I'm sure everyone was staring at me. Then, the most beautiful Asari starts dancing near me. She moves like water, form and volume, but shifting, changing. I'm in a trance. Then I'm dancing with her. Later, we went for skewers, and I'm supposed to see her again tomorrow.
Now, at this point, we already have all the info we need to get into the club, but let's listen to the other 2 entries as well to get a clearer picture.
Read the middle entry.
Cycle 36, orbit 671. Am I a freak? Morinth is a girl like me, and she's definitely not human. Just when we dance and the helix is flowing through me, the way she looks at me with a hunger, a longing, no one's ever looked at me like that. We kissed tonight.
Read the newest entry.
Cycle 42, orbit 67. She's going to take me to her apartment tonight. Whatever happens, I want to be with her forever. She can sell my pieces. We can live somewhere glamorous, like the women in Vanya that Vid Morinth likes. How did this happen to me? I'm just dumb trash from Omega.
And that's all we need, so we can close the journal now and start the hunt.
Close the holo journal.
This is Morinth's work. She's attracted to artists and creators. Someone with a spark, slightly isolated from their peers. She impresses with sophistication and sex appeal. Then she strikes. The hunt interests her as much as the conquest.
2 free renegade points can be had here for going with the option at the bottom, so let's do that, even though I personally doubt Shepard would react this way.
She kills with sex, and I have no plans to sleep with her.
Perhaps you have a right to be glib, Shepard, but caution is wise here. Morinth speaks to you on many levels. Her body tells yours that she'll bring unimaginable ecstasy. Her scent evokes emotions long hidden. Her eyes promise you things you were always scared to ask of another. Her voice whispers to you after she is done speaking.
Commenting on Morinth being a perfect predator then gives us 2 Paragon points, and as always, we don't want to miss out on those.
She sounds more like a highly evolved killer than a genetic defective.
The condition has been present since my people huddled around fires at night. Perhaps it is symbiotic rather than a defect. Storming her den would be a mistake. She will have 100 escape routes planned. She will go to ground and disappear for 50 years or more. This is the closest I've ever been.
Now it's pretty clear that we have to lure her in somehow, so let's hear what Samara has in mind.
So we have to lure her out.
Exactly. Shepard, you read my mind. Afterlife's VIP section seems her preferred hunting ground. You must go there alone and unarmed.
Well, that certainly sounds interesting and also very dangerous, but I suppose it's the best plan available.
I'm walking into this place with no gun and no backup?
I will be in the shadows watching, Shepard. You will never be alone. This I swear. but you cannot barge in with guns and allies. Morinth is far too cagey. She'd simply disappear. This is a subtle, delicate act. Trust me.
She'll come after me.
You can draw Morinth out. She'll certainly flee if she catches sight of me, but she won't be able to resist you. You are an artist on the battlefield. You have the vital spark that attracts her. Your power will draw her in.
Alright then, seems like we are ready to strike, so time to make our way over to the Afterlife VIP section.
Time's wasting. Let's get over there.
I agree. We can talk more once we're there.
Now, conveniently enough, the entrance to the VIP section of the club is pretty close to the apartment, as it is right next to the market section. There is a bouncer at the entrance though, but with the information we have obtained, we should be able to get in.
What do you want?
And just for the sake of completion, let's quickly confirm that we are in the right location before we use the name Jarut to gain entry.
What's behind this door?
VIP section of the club. For those with the right name. Do you want something?
Someone told me the rest of Afterlife is nothing compared to this place.
Sounds like a smart person. Who was it?
Jarut.
Go on in. Word to the wise. Start a fight, we'll hurt you. Someone attacks you, it's okay to defend yourself.
You must go in alone. Morinth will be watching. Like any predator, she is cautious. You must pique her interest enough that she will approach you. When you are face to face, subtly encourage her to invite you to her apartment. I'll follow discreetly, and when you are alone, I'll spring the trap. Know this, until I get there, you are in great peril. She will be planning to inflict horrors on you. If you are not careful, you will want her to.
Now, before we get going, we can have Samara remind us of all the things we know about Morinth, and we can also briefly talk strategy, which will make the following few minutes a little easier.
Okay, what other things have we learned about Morinth that can help us here?
According to Neff's journal, Morinth likes dancing while on a drug called Halax. Neff's journal mentioned a vid called Vayenya. It seemed to have something to do with glamorous women. Morinth sent Neff a note saying she likes the Elcor artist Forta. Well, Shepard, that's everything we know.
How can I spark her interest when I'm not even talking to her?
Courage or suicidal bravery could attract her. Hurt someone in defense and she will be excited, but pick a fight and she'll be bored. Show skill at working smoothly through a nightclub crowd. She will be intrigued. She'll want you the moment she sees you. The rest is just a matter of overpowering her caution.
How do I convince her to take me home?
She admires strength, directness, and vigor. Modesty, chivalry, or meekness frustrate and bore her. Violence excites her. You've killed Shepard. She'll like that.
Getting her alone, then falling under her sway? That'll require careful timing.
I will be near, and I will come for you, Shepard. Trust me, as I trust and honor you.
And there we are, we should now be sufficiently prepared to head into the Lion's Den.
Let's get started.
Shepard, we only get one chance at this. Any mistake and Morinth will disappear. If you're the least bit unsure, come talk to me. I will wait here. And Shepard, thank you. I do not share this burden easily, and you are the only soul I can imagine sharing it with.
Okay, time to make our way into the club, where we can immediately collect more vital information by talking to this guy right here. This conversation, by the way, is not part of our task to attract attention, so we can act any way we want.
Hey, do you know where to get tickets for Expel 10? I heard this amazing Asari say they were her favorite band. I just want whatever she wants. I gotta find tickets. Expel 10 is playing tomorrow.
And it seems like Morinth has gotten into his head already, so maybe he knows where she is, or at the very least can tell us a bit more about this band.
She sounds amazing. Is she here?
She was here a couple of days ago talking about the band. She's here a lot. When she comes back, I'm gonna have tickets.
What kind of music did they play?
They're a sensory band. Like, they crawl into you and make you feel things. And this Asari digs them like you wouldn't believe. I could score way out of my league, you know? You gotta help me.
Now, we have no way of helping him and we are here to complete a delicate task, so let's quickly grab 2 renegade points and tell him off.
I'm ready to punch someone, and you're too close.
Relax, relax. It's cool. I'll step off.
Now, there are plenty of ways to interact with people here that will all attract Morinth's attention, but we can actually not do them all before she notices us. So instead, we will focus on those interactions that give the most morality points, starting with the 2 Tyrians here.
Lots of money on display here tonight. We gotta hit some of that later. Not so loud, we'll hit it. Don't worry. Good cred hunting tonight. We'll hit him in the alley. As long as it isn't one of Aria's people, we're good. We gotta get enough creds to keep Pink off our backs. Hey, what are you looking at?
And despite following a Paragon path for the most part, we still have enough renegade points to start a confrontation and earn us 5 more.
A pair of sad losers who think they're something, and are about to find out they're not.
Who's gonna show us that? You? Human thinks he's a tough guy.
Tougher than you.
Alright, that could count as an act of suicidal bravery, but we're not done yet. We need one more interaction like this and we have several choices. We could, for example, insult the Krogan at the bar here, but there is one single option in this entire area that will give us Paragon points, and that is to talk to the barkeeper instead.
What'll you have?
With enough Paragon points, we can convince him to give out a round of drinks on the house, an action that should surely attract the attention of many of the guests.
These are good people, but they look bored. Bored people don't spend much.
And you got an idea for how I could fix that?
A round of drinks shows that you appreciate their business. Your rep will improve, and you'll make more money in the end.
Maybe worth a try once. You better be right. Listen up, everyone! We love having you here, so a round of drinks on the house!
My name is Morinth. I've been watching you. You're the most interesting person in this place. I've got a booth over here in the shadows. Why don't you come sit with me? Some nights I come here and there's no one interesting to talk to. Some nights, there's just one person. Tonight it's you. Why is that?
And there we are in a booth with our target. Now, Samara told us that Morinth appreciates confidence and bravery, so let's show ourselves confident to start things off here.
I know what I like.
Do you?
Now, the 2 options on the right, Justicars and family, should be avoided, and instead we can talk about creative things such as music, art and travel.
I've traveled all over the galaxy.
It changes you, doesn't it?
Again, we want to stick to the options on the left here and steer the conversation towards danger and violence, both things that Morinth apparently likes a lot.
Real travel means going to dangerous places.
Where you can see and do things most people can't imagine.
Yes.
When I travel, I find myself drawn to dark, dangerous places.
Violent places?
Violence is the surest expression of power.
And again, we go with the option at the bottom left, following more of a renegade approach to this conversation, even though we won't gain any morality points for it.
Violence is a means to an end. Power is that end.
But violence is such a charming way to reach that end.
Alright, we did well on the topic of space travel. Let's move on to art.
Do you know anything about art?
It speaks to the darkest places in me. What about you?
And from the note in the apartment, we have the advantage of knowing who she likes, so let's casually name drop the Elko artist Forta.
Do you know the artist Forta?
I didn't think anyone around here knew him. He's sublime. Art comes in many varieties. I've seen vids that were more powerful than a sculpture sitting in a gallery.
And from Nev's diary, we have also learned about a very particular vid she likes to watch.
Do you know Vaenya?
My favorite. The 2 actresses on it are so glamorous.
I'll have to watch it.
Maybe we could do that together.
Alright, so far so good. That brings us now to music.
What do you think of the music here?
Dark rhythms, violent pulses. It stirs something primitive in me. What about you?
And it's a good thing we talked to the guy at the entrance, because thanks to him, we know about her fondness for the band Expel 10.
I'm curious about a band called Expel 10.
They get in my head and tear it to pieces. They're in concert soon. Maybe we should go together. You can lose yourself in the music here. There are ways to enhance that. you know?
Both Nev's mother and her journal entry also spoke of drugs, specifically the drug Hallex, so let's further pretend to have the same tastes as Morinth.
What do you think of Hallex?
Do you want to get out of here? My apartment is nearby and I want you alone.
Alright, phase 1 complete, we are now in her apartment, and before we talk to her, we want to investigate the assault rifle behind us for an easily missable damage upgrade, and then we can get a few more lines of dialogue about various items in the room.
I was into dueling for a while. I love the moment you see it in your opponent's eyes. He knows you're better, and he's going to die. Have a Hallex if you want. But wouldn't you rather have all your senses be clear and sharp right now? I certainly do. A gift from a suitor. The statue's got more personality than he did. Still, he impressed me enough that he finally got what he wanted. It didn't end the way he hoped. I love any game where your opponent can believe he is about to win. Just before you kill him.
We can even examine the door, but of course we won't be able to leave just yet.
Surely you don't want to leave. Why don't you come over here? I promise you'll like it.
Alright then, let us now stall for time while we wait for Samara to arrive.
I love clubs. People, movement, heat. I can still hear the bass like the drums of a great hunt out for your blood. But here, it's muted. And you're safe. Is that what you want, Shepard?
Now, we could just agree our way through this conversation, and at least for the first two choices it doesn't really matter what we pick, but I prefer the charm option here.
People feel safest right before they die.
It's true. We're never safe. I've never understood the fascination with safety. Some of us choose differently. Independence over submission? I think we share that, you and I.
Alright, choice number 2, again we can pick what we want here, but this time the charm option will cause her to become a bit suspicious, so let's go with intimidate instead.
You compare us, but you're nowhere near my league.
So strong. I need this. Look into my eyes and tell me you want me. Tell me you'd kill for me. Anything I want.
Okay, now this is the all-important choice where we do not want to fall into her seduction, but to have access to either the charm or intimidate option we need to have a pretty high score, which is why this mission is best attempted later in the game. We do have enough Paragon points though, so let's pick the corresponding option.
Don't count on it.
But you... Who are you? Oh no, I see what's going on. The bitch herself found a little helper. Morinth! Mother.
Do not call me that!
I can't choose to stop being your daughter, Mother.
You made your choice long ago.
What choice? My only crime was being born with the gifts you gave me.
Enough, Morinth!
I am the genetic destiny of the Asari. They are not ready to reveal this, so I must die.
You are a disease to be purged. Nothing more.
I'm as strong as she is. Let me join you.
I am already sworn to help you, Shepard. Let us finish this.
Alright, no way for us to negotiate here or to intervene in any other way. We have to make a decision right here and now. The fact that we even have a choice is a result of us resisting Morinth just a few seconds ago, otherwise Shepard would now make the choice all by himself and kill Morinth, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense to me as she just gained control of his mind. In any case, we do have a choice and we are going to help Samara complete her quest. It is a tough thing to do, but it gives us 30 Paragon points, and one way or another I think we can all agree that Morinth needs to be stopped.
End of the line, Morinth.
And they call me a monster.
Find peace in the embrace of the goddess. I am ready to leave this place and get on with my life. Are you ready to go as well?
Now, we can collect 2 extra Paragon points here and ask Samara how she's feeling, although this question is probably impossible to answer just seconds after killing her own daughter.
Do you want to talk about what happened?
Shepard, what do you think I will say? What can I say? I just killed the bravest and smartest of my daughters. There are no words. I will try another time. For now, show mercy on a broken old warrior and let us leave.
And we can in fact leave right now, as there is nothing else to explore in this apartment.
Let's go.
And there we are, mission complete. We unlock the Doppelganger achievement and we advance to level 21. Needless to say, had we decided to kill Samara, Morinth would now be taking her place in our crew, but that would have also earned us 45 Renegade points. Instead, we now unlock the Reef power for Samara, a power that does not only damage opponents but also heals her, and we have also received a new outfit for her. From the apartment, we obtain the assault rifle damage upgrade, and from Cerberus we receive 30,000 credits for the completion of this mission. The Iridium bonus here is then in fact a bug, as we do not actually receive any minerals, and that's all. Time to return to the Normandy. However, as you can see, that is easier said than done, because unlike most or even all other loyalty missions in the game, the completion of this one does not teleport us back to the ship. Instead, we are rejoined by our 2 squad members outside of the Afterlife VIP area. So from here, we now have to run back to the ship by ourselves, passing by Ish, whose quest we should keep in mind for one of the next episodes, and eventually we reach the docking bay and can make our exit.
Grunt seems very agitated. You may want to check in on him.
So, back on the ship, we are reminded of the assault rifle damage upgrade we just obtained, and because I want to complete one more short conversation anyway, let's quickly head over to the tag lab and research that. Now we only need one more damage upgrade to max out the assault rifle tag tree, but for now, let's return to the crew deck once more and catch up with Samara.
Morinth haunted my dreams and waking hours equally. For the first time in 400 years, I am free. I am a ruined vessel of sorrow and regret, but I am free. It is not a feeling I can describe.
At this point, we can talk a bit more about her feelings, and this time she will also give us a few more detailed answers.
Was it worth it?
It was never a question of worth, but of need. I had to take the action I did, as did she. This was never a story that would have a happy outcome.
You did your duty. What about your feelings?
One of my daughters is dead. My hopes, my dreams were all bound up in my children. Still, my feelings have always come after my duty. The same is true of you.
You said that Morinth was a monster, but she was still your daughter.
She was the strongest and smartest. She would not accept the injustice thrust upon her. She fought to the end. I am so proud of her, Shepard.
You killed her for being what she was.
And I would again. But I also know what it means to leave everything behind and fight. Do you realize that she went on the run at the age of 40? I do not know human years well, but it is very young for Asari.
And this right here is in fact a good question. Samara said that hunting Morinth kept her on her toes for the last 400 years, so one might wonder what her plans are for the future.
What will you do now that Morinth is gone?
Assuming I survive your mission, I am a Justicar. Injustice still exists, and perhaps even other Ardat-Yakshi.
And with a bit more time on our hands, we can now learn some more about the Ardat-Yakshi and also ask if there's anything that can be done to prevent or even defeat the condition.
I thought Ardat-Yakshi were extremely rare.
Asari have spread to many worlds. There are remote regions with no government oversight. If I travel to those worlds and they do exist, I will find them.
There's no way to correct the condition Morinth had?
We are an advanced species, but we don't have magic. When the trait manifests at maturity, it is too late for mitigation. It only occurs in purebloods like myself. Perhaps that is the root of the stigma regarding Asari-exclusive pairings. I don't know.
Morinth claimed that her condition was the future of the Asari race.
Morinth would say anything that served her cause. Ardat-Yakshi are sterile, Shepard. That wouldn't be a particularly viable future for my people.
So we take it that Samara is determined to continue her duties as a Justicar, although after all she went through, retirement or even just a short break might not sound like such a bad idea either.
You don't want to settle down?
I did. I returned to my homeworld and tried to start a family. I will fight and struggle all my life. That is my fate. When I die, it will not be in bed. I am at peace with that.
Alright, one last morality option here. We will grab ourselves the final 2 Paragon points of this conversation and with that also of this quest, and then we're done with today's episode.
You still control the direction of your life.
I have chosen this path. I truly am at peace, due in no small part to you.
And there we are. After roughly 50 minutes, another loyalty mission is completed, another achievement is unlocked, and we are one step closer to completion. In the next episode, we could continue the packages for Ish assignment and travel to either the Citadel or to Ilium, as both would also present us with opportunities to complete a few more missions. But maybe something else catches my eye in the meantime, so we'll see how things continue from here. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course also subscribe and help the channel grow, or you can check out and maybe pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.